The Portuguese in India, the quest for and discovery of a sea route to India. After the decline of the Roman Empire in the 7th century, the Arabs had established their domination in Egypt-Persia. Direct contact between the Europeans and India declined. And, with that, the easy accessibility to the Indian commodities like spices, calicos, silk, and various precious stones that were greatly in demand was affected. In 1453, Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Turks, who were on the ascendant. Merchandise from India went to the European markets through Arab-Muslim intermediaries. The Red Sea trade route was a state monopoly from which Islamic rulers earned tremendous revenues. The land routes to India were also controlled by the Arabs. In the circumstances, the Europeans were keen to find a direct sea route to India. 15th century Europe was gripped by the spirit of the Renaissance with its call for exploration. At the same time, Europe made great advances in the art of shipbuilding and navigation. Hence, there was an eagerness all over Europe for adventurous sea voyages to reach the unknown corners of the East. The economic development of many regions of Europe was also progressing rapidly with expansion of land under cultivation, the introduction of an improved plough, scientific crop management such as crop rotation, and increased supply of meat, which called for spices for cooking as well as for preservation. Prosperity also grew, and with it the demand for Oriental luxury goods also increased. Venice and Genoa, which had earlier prospered through trade in Oriental goods, were too small to take on the mighty Ottoman Turks or to take up major exploration on their own. The North Europeans were ready to aid Portugal and Spain with money and men, even as the Genoese were ready to provide ships and technical knowledge. It is also to be noted that Portugal had assumed the leadership in Christendom's resistance to Islam, even as it had taken on itself the spirit of exploration that had characterized the Genoese. Historians have observed that the idea of finding an ocean route to India had become an obsession for Prince Henry of Portugal, who was nicknamed the Navigator. Also, he was keen to find a way to circumvent the Muslim domination of the Eastern Mediterranean and all the routes that connected India to Europe. Pope Nicholas V gave Prince Henry a bull in 1454, conferring on him the right to navigate the sea to the distant shores of the Orient. More specifically, as far as India, in an attempt to fight Islamic influence and spread the Christian faith. However, Prince Henry died before his dream could become a reality. In 1497, under the Treaty of Tordesillas, 1494, the rulers of Portugal and Spain divided the non-Christian world between them by an imaginary line in the Atlantic, some 1,300 miles west of the Cape Verde Islands. Under the treaty, Portugal could claim and occupy everything to the east of the line while Spain could claim everything to the west. The situation was thus prepared for the Portuguese incursions into the waters around India. It was in 1487 that the Portuguese navigator, Bartholomew Dias, rounded the Cape of Good Hope in Africa and sailed up the eastern coast. He was well convinced that the long sought-after sea route to India had been found. But it was only 10 years later that an expedition of Portuguese ships set out for India in 1497, and arrived in India in slightly less than 11 months' time. In May 1498. Please like, share, subscribe, and thank you for watching.